Hi everyone, this is Tammy from Tammy Colors 2, and today is video number 24 in the Time for a Cuppa Celebration of Tea coloring book series. The book is by Racine. We are drinking the tea, I'm talking about the tea, and then coloring the picture in the book. And it is nice to have you back with me. I'm assuming if you're on video 24, maybe you've watched a few of the other ones. So today we are doing Sencha, which is, I don't know if I can find it, this one in the book. I mean, this is video 24. I think we only have 6 pictures left after this. So we're almost done with this book. And I noticed that last week my marker bled on my thing, but that's okay. That'll cover up nicely. We won't see that when it's done. Look, I even got some sticky. What the heck? All right, we'll have to clean that off. I don't know what's sticky. Who knows? I probably just got it on there. I probably have something on my hands from being down in the kitchen or something like that. But we'll cover it all up. Don't worry. Anyway, so Sencha, I did not expect this to be as hard as it was. I have had Sencha in the past in my collection, but I didn't in this time. I do have, now that I see it, some of the teas that I have that are a blend of other things, like my Japanese cherry, which is actually a Gyokuro rather than a Sencha. You know, I just don't have anything that has Sencha in it that I know of. So I went out looking, and I went to an Asian grocery, and we'll set this over here. And there are, I should start with, Sencha is Japanese, not Chinese. It is produced in Japan, and its name, which you will see, I have Uji, because this is the Uji Sencha, Kaori-chan Uji Sencha. And then this one is the Kaori-chan Shizuka Sencha. I have no Shizuka, and it might be Shizuka. And I'm like, looking at these, I'm like, oh, they're from different, I looked it up, and they're different cities or places, regions, where the tea is produced. And there are many. I mean, there were only these 2, which is fine. I wasn't going to buy any more than that. Of course, my husband, the voice of reason, says, let's just get them both. It's not like we're not going to drink them. Like, okay. So it comes in, if you go to an Asian grocery, this is typical packaging for the tea. Just in case nobody's seen this kind of packaging before. And it also comes in jars and cans and stuff like we have, but I see this a lot. So the difference is the Japanese tea, whereas Chinese tea is, I forget what it is. It's fried or fired first, and then it's dried. Whereas Japanese tea is steamed, and then it's dried, and they steam it to prevent the oxidation. Because you will notice, if you've ever had a Japanese tea versus a Chinese tea, which the Chinese teas are more common. You got your oolongs and your, just about everything comes from China. But the Japanese teas are different. You've got matcha, you've got sencha, you've got gyokuro, you've got, and they have different names. And I don't know that you would ever really notice. Don't feel bad if you haven't. Or I don't even know that you would have had these. However, where it comes from in Japan, and it is the most popular tea in Japan. I think it's where I read it's 80% of the tea consumption is sencha. So I thought I would get the 2 that I had, or that I found, and because I wanted to see if there was a difference. And you can obviously see there is a difference in the, this one is cloudy, this one is slightly cloudy. I find that Sencha is cloudy, and it depends on how much it's been chopped up. And you'll remember that when we did matcha, matcha is actually a powder. It's steamed in a similar way, and it is a powdered tea, and then you just mix the whole powder. Whereas this is an actual, what I call an actual tea, where you steep the leaves and you pour the water off. Don't make the mistake that, you know, not all teas are like that. So, I don't know if you can see, but the one thing I noticed is that the Shizuka is chopped up, and that contributes to its cloudiness, whereas the Uji, or Yuji, I don't know how it's pronounced, is a much more long whole leaf, and you can see a difference in the color. So that, I mean, they don't taste a ton different. I mean, I knew that the difference would be subtle. I was curious. Don't know how curious you are. I find that the Japanese teas are great to mix with stuff. I think that the guy that I met in the store last night, he was so nice. He just happened to be walking down the aisle, and I was wondering what these berries were, because I'll often buy like berries or flowers. Like I get chrysanthemum from the Asian grocery because I love chrysanthemum, and I love to mix it into my base green teas. Along with other things, other berries or whatever. And I told him I like to mix the flowers, because there's lotus, and there's goji berry, and there's jasmine, and there's all these different flowers and things that you can buy. And they just steep them the way they are, but I like to mix them. And I mean, some people do. That's not unheard of, but he kind of thought I was crazy. He laughed at me. But anyway, so I'm just at the point in my tea journey where I can start mixing my own teas, because I've almost got all the parts. If you have a good base tea, like a black tea, all you need is a base, a black, a green, figure out what you like, and then you start putting the flowers in it, or the fruits, or whatever, you know. It's just getting those things. Sometimes you wouldn't find, like, one of my favorite is fig and cherry, which is not common. I had never heard of it. I was in a German tea shop and I saw fig and cherry, and I'm like, okay, that sounds weird. And it's a figs and cherries mixed into a black tea, and it is fabulous. And it is one of my favorite teas, and I cannot find it. I am trying to figure out a way to get the parts to make it myself. So, I mean, I just want to get the right things, because you want to get the right kind of dried fruits to put in your tea, not just any dried fruit. So anyway, that's my story. So anyway, the Shizuka, which is the cloudier, and they say that ideally it is a golden yellow color, the tea, which is what this is preferred. This one you can tell is a little more greenish, I guess, but so, and Sencha is what I typically think of when I think of green tea. It tastes the greenest. I don't know if that makes sense. But this one is, I mean, they're both mild. They're not bitter. And it's hard to describe if you've never had it before. And this one has kind of a cleaner taste. The flavors don't vary all that much. This one tastes more like what I'm used to it tasting like, although I do like them both. Honestly, there's not a lot of difference between the two. And they say that the difference in them in the region is how much the tea is shaded. It may not be shaded at all. I mean, there's all these things. I mean, it's just the things that go into tea production are amazing. But that's the basic difference, is that it's steamed and rolled before it's dried, whereas, and then it's sorted, whereas this is, Chinese tea is generally fired or fried, or, you know, first. Don't think of frying like in oil or anything like that, but and then it's dried. So the oxidation is different. So your Chinese teas are different than your Japanese teas. So there we go. We have 2 teas to enjoy. I'm gonna have fun mixing my cherry blossoms and chrysanthemums and stuff with it. I guess when we get done with this book, we can start doing all of my other weird teas that I have. So many. All right, so, oops, silver needle. Goodness, I may not even have any silver needle right now. I'm sure I do. I have to have silver needle. I always have silver needle around. But I have so many teas right now. I've been trying not to buy some, and then I end up not having something and I have to go buy it. It's just hilarious. But after this book, we're going to start drinking. I'm excited to get to the Thai tea because I bought it, but I haven't made it yet. I need to make it because that's going to be different. There's a process there. All right, so I picked out some colors. I couldn't really find an inspiration picture, but I saw some flowers that really made me happy. So I'll make those a purple color, and this is going to be like a pink lotus flower. The teapot is going to be like a gold. I will put gold on this. I'll probably do it towards the end. I'll probably put gold on the cups. We'll see what I do with those. I have kind of an idea. This is going to be red. The lantern, I think, will be red. We've got our green tea leaves. I've got my bamboo. These are like a purple. That's what this purple color is. So I've got all kinds of fun colors. So I don't know what I'm going to do for these up here, but anyway, and then I have a dark brown, because I'm assuming this is a table. So I have a dark brown color for the table just to kind of fill it in and make it look like a table. I like them both. I mean, I do like the cloudy teas. It's hard to describe. I mean, you kind of have to try them for yourself. But they have a texture, sort of. I mean, it's not like you can feel the tea leaves. It's just, it's different, and I do like that. I suppose it's a bit more, not bitter. I don't know what the word that I'm looking for is. It's not bitter. Astringent, maybe? That might be a good term for it. Anyway, we're going to try to keep my blotter page from getting messed up here. I'm going to do the purple flowers because these purple flowers are going to be so cool. All right, so we're going to zoom in. Hope I don't make anybody sick. But you know I do crazy stuff. So I'm going to do these flowers. I'm using my Arteza Everblends, and we will get these done. And hopefully all my colors will work out. And hopefully I won't be doppy like I usually am. So, how is everybody this week? I hope y'all are doing well. I mean, some of y'all I talk to on a semi-regular basis. It's fun, you know, hearing people's opinions about the teas and what they've tried and what they enjoy. If you haven't been watching, I do like tea and coffee. I am not particular. It just so happens that it's kind of a funny story. I don't know if I've ever told it before. But when I mean, I've drank tea off and on. My father is a retired police officer. So when I was a kid, of course, he would work different shifts. And so sometimes, well, I would usually get at, he would have a 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift, which is the day shift. There was 2 to 10, there was 10 to 6. There was a split shift. I can't remember what the split was. But anyway, so I would get up with him in the morning, and he always had coffee, of course. And I wanted to be like my dad. I am daddy's girl, and I'm gonna do these down here. I hated coffee at first, and then I learned to drink it with milk. I think coffee drinking has a progression. We're on a tea video. I'm talking about coffee. I think you have a progression in your coffee and your tea drinking life. And I could only drink it with milk and sugar, or creamer and sugar, or whatever. But later on, I started to develop a more refined palate, which I think you do, because I think sometimes coffee tastes just bad to everyone, and they drink it because that's the thing that you do in today's society. I don't know. I know they drink it for the caffeine, don't get me wrong, but I'm gonna turn this around like this to get to this flower. But I eventually learned to drink it black, and now it depends. So I have had really good coffee, and a good Italian coffee from an Italian restaurant, a real Italian restaurant that has an espresso machine, and they try to order some of the good coffees from Europe or whatever. That will change your life. But I will tell you, it's hilarious because we have Italian friends, and Roberto is one of them. He lives in Bologna, and I asked him once, I said, what's your favorite coffee? Because I assumed, as I do, that it was some awesome thing, and it is good, don't get me wrong, but he likes Illy. Illy is the coffee that he likes, and if you haven't seen it, it comes in a can. Usually you can buy it at World Market. I mean, it's more readily available in America. It comes in a like a silver can. It has a red lid, ILLY, Illy. So I'm like, you're kidding me. So that's the story. I haven't asked Silvio or Kelly what their favorite coffee is. I should do that. We have a number of Italian friends, so let's see. I might want to make that just a hair. This is where I'm doing my marker blending. Of course, this, I may not like this. We'll see what it looks like when it dries. And how I'm going to fix it if I don't like it. So I have a couple of light green markers. Where are they? 16 and 17. Okay. So we'll do those while I'm waiting for that to dry and hope I didn't really screw it up. Okay, so I may have to do it with pencil. So this is 17. So just like with tea, I think you start out putting sugar or sweetener in it all, and I have grown in my tea journey so that I don't really drink sweetener in a lot of tea. I think you refine your palate, and you just don't need it anymore. And it's not true, and it's not bad if you do. It's certainly, no one looks down on you. I mean, I'm not a tea snob for sure. Oh, that's cute. I like that. This I'm not so sure about, but I like this. I'm trying not to pick dark marker colors anymore. I'm trying to pick lighter ones because my marker colors are always so dark. I feel. Not every time, but a lot of the time. I tried to find out what these flowers were, but I didn't have much luck with that. So, you know, with coffee, I've learned to drink it black. As with tea, I have learned to drink it, I guess, for all intents and purposes, black. Or plain or without sweetener or whatever. So let's see. I'm gonna do the bamboo. What color did I pick for the bamboo? I think I picked this. Let's see. I'm gonna turn this around and do the bamboo handle. I'm trying to remember why I started that. Oh, so, you know, I started drinking coffee. I was telling you about coffee to get to how I started drinking tea. So I would drink coffee in the morning, and when I was out, like at restaurants or whatever, you know, I'd only ever had bagged tea. I mean, you know, normal Lipton, whatever. And then I think when I got out of college, I started experimenting. And I was drinking celestial seasonings or whatever, which is very popular. And so I'm going to make it dark brown. We'll do this. When I was on a work trip, and I had really gotten into the celestial seasonings different, and it was when they had come out with their, oh, it was the one with the buffalo on it, because this was in the 90s. Oh my goodness. So it's like matcha or something like that. I can't remember. Mate. Anyway, so I was really into their teas, and when I went to Boulder, because I had to go to Boulder, Colorado, that's where the Celestial Seasonings factory is, and it was right next to the company where I was doing my training, and oh, it was amazing. I took a tour of the factory, and it was just super, super cool. I'm gonna see if I can totally mess up this flower. I really, really, really liked it. It cemented my love of tea. I bought some, I still have them. I have some tins that they had so many. They have the art hanging there, that the actual art paintings, that the boxes are, you can actually see the whole painting because you only get to see part of it on the box. They're hanging in the hallways. It's just very cool. You can go there and have tea every day. They have like a little tea cafe, and at least they used to. I mean, this, like I said, was in the 90s, so who knows? But I'm assuming they still do. But yeah, and so then I was hooked, but I hadn't not graduated to loose leaf tea. Then I got divorced, and I lost my job. I didn't have a job for, well, I don't want to say I lost my job. So the project ended. I worked for TRW, which in the middle of my working for TRW got bought by, or merged with, it was kind of a mutual thing, Northrop Grumman. but they decided to be Northrop Grumman, which is a huge defense contractor in the United States. And you know, they put an office together, and then you work on this project for 3-5 years, and then the office dissolves and you go find other projects within the company. It's almost like interviewing all over again. But in Ohio, there isn't as much. I mean, a lot of companies want to come to Ohio for that kind of stuff, you know, but at the same time, there isn't as much here, and I didn't want to move to Vegas or California or any place like that. I mean, I just don't think that I would like it. So I stayed here. Are those little flowers, do you think? Maybe we should make those pinky. So, and then it was when the market was crashing, because in the early 2000s, because of some things that were going on at the time, people weren't hiring software engineers or a lot of professionals. They wanted lower. So I couldn't find a job for the first time. You know, I would have all these interviews, and then they just would say, oh, you know, it was great, but then, so it can happen to anybody, you know. So I was divorced. I had bought a house when I was getting divorced, and I gave our condo to my ex-husband. And long story short, I ended up losing my house for a number of reasons, but because I didn't have a job for a year. You know, it happens. You get yourself up and, you know, get over it. I mean, it's amazing. When I think about it, it's hard to remember. It's hard to believe that it happened. But, yeah, totally happened. And at the same time is when I had started dating William, my current husband. And, so, you know, things worked out. He helped me get an apartment to live in. Otherwise, I would have been homeless. Probably lived with my parents. I found a job at the company that I work for now, and there we go. So it was for a good reason. I mean, it seemed bad. I wasn't really happy in my condo, so I'm not sad that I left it or lost it. I mean, it just sucks that it happened. But yeah, everything's good now, so you can recover. Don't think it's the end of the world. I have been through Chapter 13, bankruptcy. All of this was like with my ex-husband. And now I can buy a house on my own. I don't need my husband's income if I don't want to. So, you know, I'm just saying, don't ever lose hope, because, you know, it is possible to get through it. I don't mind talking about it at all. I think I messed up what I was doing. Anyway, so, but to say that, I, don't ask me why I started talking about that, because it's just a progression of conversation, I guess. So my husband, I started, when I didn't have a job, I started doing work for a nonprofit by accident, because of a friend who actually worked for Northrop Grumman and didn't have a job either. And it was called GAMA, the Game Manufacturers Association, which is here. They were moving their office to Columbus, and they let me do some work for them, help get the office set up, and I ended up being the secretary for the awards for a while, And that's when I met Jody, a woman that kind of worked for the office, and she introduced me to Adagio, which was one of the companies I ordered tea from, and loose leaf tea, and I guess the rest is history. I got into it, and then it turns out that William, my current husband, drinks tea, and it's just funny because, you know, he had been drinking tea every day because he didn't drink coffee. And so tea was his thing. And so it was like I had this huge tea collection by then, and he's like, wow. So it's kind of like, you know, we're on the same level. So, but that being said, I do love my coffee. Now he drinks, he does not like hot coffee. He likes cold coffee. So I make him cold brew. He loves cold brew. And it is good. Cold brew is really different. If you have never had it, you probably hear the garbage truck. And he likes it with cream and sugar. He only likes cold coffee and hot tea. He will not drink cold tea, which is funny. I'll drink it. I hate to say this, and I hope it doesn't gross anybody out, but I'll drink tea if it's been sitting on the counter for a day. I'll be just like, oh, okay, there's my tea from yesterday morning or whatever, and just drink it. Don't stick it in the microwave or anything. I am not, you know, I don't stand on ceremony for sure. I may need to get a darker color out for these tea leaves, but we'll see. Boy, I'm coloring more today in the picture. I probably should finish this up. Add some. I don't think it'll take me all that long to finish it, but ooh, we got some pretty colors in here. Look at that. I think, and when I add the red, that's really gonna make this pop, and the gold, I think it's gonna be pretty. The steam is gonna have this gold, grayish blue, or gold, this grayish blue color, so I think that'll be cool. So let me finish this, and we'll come back. All right, I have finished, and here is what it looks like. So I'm not sure that I'm happy with my glasses or my teapot. I picked this art wheel. I used my art wheel metallics to do the pot, but I wanted it to be very not shiny, and that's why I picked it, and it ended up being shiny, even though on my swatch card it looks not shiny, but that's okay. I still like it. I like the colors. My lantern's nice. I still haven't figured out how to make metallic watercolors not splotchy. Or, I mean, I know they're see-through, and maybe the secret is I just have to put marker underneath them. Because I tried going over it a couple times, and that didn't really help. But anyway, I think it's pretty, and so next week we will do Silver Needle. Ooh, that's pretty. Not very many pictures left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's it. We'll be done with this book. I'll already have a completed book this year in a few weeks. That'll be awesome. Anyway, thanks for joining me. I hope y'all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.